Hey, what's up guys? Rare Bishop here of the Press A to Listen podcast. We have another video review for you. This time it's for my most anticipated game of 2014, and that's Forza Horizon 2. And without further ado, doing any more of this intro, we're just going to jump right into it. Forza Horizon 2 is very similar to the original Horizon due to the fact that some of the gameplay mechanics and some of the actual story stuff remains the same. They mix it up a little bit here and there, but the bulk of the story, which is the Horizon Festival, is back. And it's a giant music festival that's taking place in Southern Europe this time instead of Colorado. So you get some vast terrain that you can travel on, and it gives you a new location to visit. But the whole goal of the story is the same. Win as many championships, as many races as you can, so you can then become the Horizon Festival overall champion. So there's a semi-story there. There's definitely more cutscenes this time around than there were prior in the original game, but the actual story itself is basically the exact same. Hey, you need to come in here, you're this unknown racer, you need to come in here and win as many championships as you can to become the ultimate Horizon Festival champion and take down everyone in your way. Now let's move on to the actual gameplay, the thing that majority of you actually care about the most, and obviously that makes sense. The style meter itself is back. If you see it on this video at the top of the screen, top middle of the screen, you'll notice that I'm getting points for landscaping, which is basically running over stuff. I'm getting points for near misses. I'm getting points for ultimate passes. You get points for basically doing everything in the game. No matter what you do, you're almost always earning points, and these points will level you up. That's how you unlock the wristbands that were found in the original Horizon. They are also back, and that is also how you get XP. The new this time around is the XP system, which unlocks perks, which I've also shown off in this video. And these perks range from being able to fast travel anywhere. They range from being able to earn 10% more XP from drafting, from you earn double the reward from your daily drivatar payouts and stuff like that. So it gives you a little bit more incentive to do certain tasks in the game, like drafting and everything like that, because you get more credits for doing so. And I mentioned this in my Horizon 1 review that I did a couple years ago. The style meter is very similar to the kudos meter found in Project Gotham Racing. So like this is as close to a Project Gotham Racing game as we're going to get probably ever, because it more than likely will not have a new one relatively soon. Now I mentioned perks, and you unlock perks from skill points that you earn from leveling up. You don't get a skill point every time you level up. You get one every few levels, but what you do get every time you level up is what they call a wheel spin, which is essentially just a giant slot machine that you press the X button to spin. When you're spinning, after it's done, you either get a certain amount of credits, which can range from 1,000 credits to 100,000 credits, or you'll get a car, which can be a very crappy Mazda, or you can end up getting a Lamborghini, which I have myself gotten. So that gives you kind of extra incentive to level up as well, because that makes it to where every time you level up, you get a wheel spin. You might not get a skill point every time you level up, but you do get a wheel spin, which can then get you more and more credits to buy these fancier cars. The overall handling of the cars is vastly different from that of Forza 5. So if you're coming off of Forza 5 and expecting to have the similar handling model, you might be a tad bit disappointed, or you might have a little bit of a learning curve, because with this being a way more of an arcade racer compared to Forza 5, the cars themselves handle a tad bit different. So if you're in a car like a hatchback, it's going to feel a little stiff, or if you're in a Dodge Ram truck, it's going to feel a little stiff, and it's going to be a little bit tighter to turn. If you're in a McLaren P1, you can drift around corners with just about no problem at all. And this gives you the ability to try out these new cars, because you want to be able to experience what they can do and how the handling system is different compared to past Forza games. Without a doubt, the best part of the overall gameplay is not the handling itself, it's not the XP system, it's not the style meter that's similar to the Kudo system in PGR. It's the fact that you can almost drive anywhere you want in the world. You'll see in this video how big the map is. You can drive just about anywhere in that map. If the GPS tells you need to take a sharp right to get around this corner, don't even worry about that. Just cut right through the woods, cut right through the grass, or whatever it is, a golf course, and get there faster than ever before, because unlike the original Horizon, which was limited to the Xbox 360, they had these either invisible walls, or they had these stone walls or whatever to try to keep you on the road, to try to make sure you couldn't go anywhere you wanted. That limitation and everything is off for Forza Horizon 2, and you can go just about anywhere. And it's one of those things you have to get used to when you first boot up the game, because with most racing games, you feel tied down to the road, that you can't go anywhere. And with this one, it takes about an hour or so to realize I don't need to take this road that this GPS is telling me. I can just cut right through here and slalom through these trees and get there really fast. And that's one of the best things about this game, is just being able to just free roam literally wherever you want. Another thing that people will be familiar with if they played the original Horizon are the boards you can collect when driving through the world. This time around they're XP boards, which when you drive through those you get additional XP, and fast travel boards, which when you drive through those makes discounts on the ability to fast travel to any of the Horizon festivals, or if you have the fast travel anywhere perk, it will be cheaper to fast travel anywhere. Not only will you see different fast travel boards while driving through Southern Europe, you'll also see a weather system for the first time in a Forza game. Right now it's only rain and thunder. There is no snow or anything like that, but the rain itself does actually change the way the cars handle, and that makes perfect sense. You know, if you're in the real world, that's what happens. You're driving on rain, there's a chance for you to spin out. There's a chance for you to drive through those puddles and mess your car up. That can happen this time around as well. You can be driving in a race, think you can drift through that corner because you can do it normally when there's no rain. As soon as it starts raining, you drift over there and you're immediately spun out of control. So it adds a new dynamic and a new twist to the actual gameplay, and it's at random times too. There are certain races that the rain is built into, but you'll just be free roaming and it'll just start raining out of the blue, and that's really well done. A couple more things I'm going to mention real quick that you can find during your travel in Southern Europe. Barn finds are back. So when you're driving on the road, they'll come up with a message that says, hey, search this specific area, there's a car here. When you search it and you find a barn, you'll get a random car that they'll give you that you can then use in your game, which you don't have to buy. It's just yours as soon as it's ready to go. Another thing are bucket lists. This is different this time around. This was not in the first Horizon. These are basically challenges that you can try out to basically tease you on upcoming cars. So basically, a McLaren P1, you need to get to a certain area within this amount of time. You need to drive this Lamborghini or Ferrari and hit this speed before you get to this one checkpoint. So it gives you the ability to try out these cars before you can afford them, because some of these cars are relatively expensive when it comes to how many credits you need to spend. And this is cool because it also transfers over to the multiplayer. The bucket list, there are co-op bucket lists that you need to do in multiplayer. So these challenges not only help you in the single player and give you the ability to try out new things, it also is great in the multiplayer because it gives you and a friend, you and a buddy, the ability to try out these cars as well, so you both can compare and contrast what you think about them. Before we move on to the actual multiplayer, there's a few more things to discuss when it comes to the single player portion. Showcase events are back. This gives you the ability from the first one when you could race hot air balloons, you can race jets or anything like that. You can do that again this time around. Obviously here I'm not going to tell you what you do in Forza Horizon 2. The ones I just mentioned I said were in Horizon 1. I'll let you guys discover them because they're really cool events that you can take part in. There are different races this time around as well. You have the circuit races and stuff like that, but you also have cross-country events, which are basically basically rally events kind of. You travel from one point to another, and in there are a bunch of checkpoints you need to go through. But they do a good job of setting up the races to the point where you're actually traveling and driving through different terrain and stuff in the environment. You're not just going from one road to another and driving only on the road. You're cutting through these hay bales. You're cutting through these flower beds and stuff like that. So they do a good job of setting up the races to where you're not actually playing the same exact tracks over and over and over again. I know this review is getting a tad bit long, and we're going to get to the online multiplayer, I promise, but the last few things to mention are there's no microtransactions in the game. You don't have to, like the first one, buy a speed boost or buy a boost that's going to give you double the fame or double the style for half an hour. You don't need to buy tokens to buy cars. You buy cars with the credits earned in-game. For whatever you do in the game, you earn credits. That's how you buy cars. You don't buy them with any other currency, so you don't have to worry about that. There's also over 200 cars in the game, so there's plenty of things for you to choose from. There are weird cars like a Lamborghini kind of SUV. There's the Tesla Model S, which is the all-electric car, and then there are cars that people drive every day like a Subaru or a Ford pickup and stuff like that. So there's cars for you to choose from. You don't have to buy them with any tokens or weird currency. You buy them with credits earned in the game. Alright, let's move on to the online portion of Forza Horizon 2. Unlike past racing games where you had to sit in the lobby menu before you can join, this online is seamless. You hit online free roam from the options, or you hit online road trip from the map. It finds one, you hit X to join, and you're immediately in there. It even syncs to traffic, so everybody in the same room has the exact same traffic, has the exact same weather patterns, and stuff like that. And online is also up to 12 players. Yes, I wished it was a little bit more, maybe 16 or 20, but 12 players I think is a good number, because some of those events like King or Infected or something like that, 12 I think is a damn good number as well. The clubs, there's a club system this time around. You can have up to 1,000 members in a club. What this does is each week you get weekly XP. Weekly XP, you go up tiers. When you get to certain tiers, you get more credits. So like right now, the club that I'm in is almost at tier 3. I get to tier 3, I get 200,000 credits for getting there. So it gives you, again, some more incentive to keep playing the game, because the more games you play, the more races you compete, the more credits you end up earning. Another thing that's returning from Horizon 1 is the rival system. So when you finish a race, it'll come up at the end and say, so-and-so has this time. Do you want to try and beat it? This is your rival. You can either do it to get some extra credits, or you can say no thanks and move right along. Also in the world is when you see those drivatars cars that I mentioned earlier that are traffic cars now, behind them you can hit X, and that basically gives you the ability to challenge them to a race. When you do that, you earn, again, more credits that you can spend on these cars. When you get to the actual online race portion of the multiplayer, it's very similar to past racing games. You sit here, and it's very similar to the single player as well. It's just instead of you competing against computer cars or drivatars of real people, you're actually racing against real people. But like the sprint races carry over, the cross-country events carry over, the circuit races carry over, and it's fun because you're playing against friends, but also you don't know what's going to happen, because with you being able to drive off-road and being able to go just about anywhere in these races, it essentially gives you unpredictability when it comes to these events and these races online. And that's a ton of fun to me, to be able to start a race and not know what's going to actually happen in this next event, how different it actually is. That's pretty damn cool. Forza Horizon 2 has so much going for it. It has so much stuff in it that I'm almost guaranteeing you that even with the notes I have written down in front of me, I missed something. Real quick, you can tune your car. It is very similar to Forza Motorsport 5 with how it's set up. As a matter of fact, it hasn't really changed at all. There is no storefront. When you pick a car, you can choose a design that other people in the community have done, or you can go to the pause menu, go to community, and check out different vinyl groups and stuff like that. There are more radio stations than ever before. You have, I think, a total of 5 or 6 radio stations. There are more songs and more artists than ever before, so you're not going to get as bored or get annoyed with the songs as quickly as you could in the past game. Now, like I said before, Forza Horizon 2 has so much stuff. The map is so big. There's so many roads to drive on, so many cars to drive, so many events and championships to compete. This game is it's the definition of a social game. There's leaderboards everywhere. It tells you you're competing against your friends at every aspect and every corner of the game. And it's truly is one of the best racing games of the past couple of years, because of the fact that it lets you do almost anything you want to. It doesn't restrain you. It doesn't try to hold you down with certain aspects of the game. It lets you do basically whatever you want. And with that, we're going to end the review. I hope everyone enjoyed. If I missed anything or you have any questions, by all means, leave a comment below and I'll try to get to it as quickly as possible. Forza Horizon 2 is a damn good game. Highly suggest people pick it up for Xbox One when it releases this Tuesday. If it's not this Tuesday in North America, wherever you are in the world, whenever it releases for you, it's worth the pick up. There's a ton of content and a ton of stuff for you to do. With that, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.